This is Drake Bell.
What's happening?
This is Black as the New AP Style. So honest.
Yes.
Completely different genre from what you've done. I mean, almost every record is so completely different. So what kind of gives you like the ball to be like, I'm gonna do a whole different genre this time, screw it, let's go?
I don't think it's balls, I think it's boredom. You know, I get bored, not so much bored. I just love, you know, trying new things and doing something that just feels fresh to me, you know. And the production on this record and the songwriting style and everything just kind of, after making my last record and touring it for like about 2 years and not writing or recording and then getting back to the studio, I was just ready for something new.
Absolutely. And speaking of touring, you're doing stuff with High School Nation, which is really cool. So for the people that don't know about it, what goes on with that and how did you get involved?
Yes, so High School Nation, it's this really cool thing where we get a bunch of different bands and we come into these high schools and make basically a little Lollapalooza or Woodstock for them. They get out half a day and walk outside, and there's a huge concert going on with all these different booths set up by Guitar Center and Ernie Ball and VH1 Save the Music, and they can go into a booth and play piano and drums and guitars and all this different stuff and all these fun activities. And then we also donated $30,000 sound system, recording studio to each of the schools, and we hit about 40 or 50 schools in the fall, and then like 40 or 50 in the spring. So we do it twice a year, and it's just a really cool thing to be able to bring the concert to the kids. And that's what I was looking for, is some way to, you know, with kids, they gotta ask their parents for money, a ride, a chaperone. Where is this concert? Who is it? It's a school night. There's just so many variables.
Right.
I thought, man, how cool would it be if I could just bring the concert to them? And then through doing that, we got together with High School Nation, and it just was perfect simpatico, and it's rolled out into this, you know, snowballed into this really cool event that happens all over the country.
You are crazy busy. I mean, you're doing all this stuff. You got the new record out. American Satan's coming out. It will be out by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you got involved with American Satan.
That was just a phone call. It was a phone call that, you know, they said, do you want to work with, you want to do this movie? A friend of mine friends of mine from Palais Royale were involved, and their record label and everything. So it just kind of came together, and I was able to, you know, do scenes with Ian McKellen and the greatest actors, and Andy Black from Blackville Brides. I got to work with him, and a lot of really cool people, and Sebastian Bach was hanging out on set.
That's the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool and totally different. I'm playing a character that, you know, is all drugged out and wasted, and, you know, completely the opposite of what I am ever. So, but yeah, so it was totally a departure from any character that I've played before, you know. So
that's why it's so interesting that like you're doing so much stuff this year to top it off, and then you're kind of doing something completely new as far as
and then also the movie I just finished with Debbie Ryan is a completely different character. I mean, I play a guitar player in a band, but it's a totally different style of movie that I've ever made. It's kind of a band that gets to go to play Coachella, but ends up a murder happens. Somebody dies, and then, you know, you don't know who did what or what's going on, and so it's just fun to, you know, to just do new stuff.
You're doing a lot of fun stuff. I want to talk about social media because you're kind of a champ at it, especially YouTube. You're really killing YouTube right now. So you've really brought back a lot of the sketch comedy stuff that you've been doing for a while, but maybe not so much recently. So what made you decide that you want to do like a lot of the vlogging and bringing kind of the Drake and Josh stuff back with Where's Walter?
The Where's Walter thing, I was sitting down with Jonathan Goldstein, and he said, wouldn't it be funny if Walter just went crazy? And because, you know, Johnny has a beard now, and you know, Johnny is very, he influenced me so much when I was a kid on the type of, on new cool music and all this stuff, because, you know, he's a Beatles guy, he's a John Lennon guy, and so he's sort of a, you know, he's sort of a hippie. You know, he's got long hair. He's definitely not Walter in real life. You know, he's just total opposite of Walter. He's long hair, beard, you know, puka shells, shirts open. He's like, take me to the beach, sandals, total opposite. And so he was saying, what if this was Walter now? And we were just laughing, like, what did he just go crazy and homeless and you know? And he's like, yeah, let's make him, you know, let's make him a. We don't know why he went crazy or what happened, but so we went and did a couple of funny little videos, and they went viral and started getting all these write-ups and everything. And I'm like, man, we did those on a cell phone. And then I went, well, you know, I just bought a bunch of camera equipment and lights and all this stuff. Let's make some sketches with Walter. And then it just spiraled into this whole thing, and then we had to figure out where, and then Josh had met with Johnny and then took a picture and said, oh, hey, look, we found him, and because I had everyone searching for Walter and going, oh, where's Walter? You know, my dad has disappeared. And I even had weathermen at like at Channel 9 and all these different news stations, you know, going, help us find Walter. It's really important that we find Walter. Yeah, just kind of turned into this thing, and then we had to figure out, well, what happened? You know, why did he go crazy? And that's how he did the pre-story, where, you know, he saw Audrey out with Bruce Winchell, and that darn Bruce Winchell, he couldn't handle it. And then he found out that, oh my goodness, he's actually in some alternate reality, and that he's a clone. And we
went so well with this. That's what I'm saying. You're killing it.
And then we got the nerds back and everything. We went crazy.
You got almost everyone back. Yeah. Like, there were so many people that were.
We've gotten the Great Doheny back. Yes. We've gotten the foam finger guy. We got Helen. We got Mom. We got Dad. We got Audrey and Walter. We got the Craig and Eric.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we've really reached out. I mean, I would love to get Jerry on one. I'd love to get Jerry to do Crazy Steve, you know. I think that we could find some funny thing with him now that we know that we're battling Clone Co. and we have to, you know, figure out how to get all. I think we're probably going to go into other TV shows and save and let them know, like, hey, you're really trapped in this weird world, actually, you know, and we got to save you. You know, see which ones are like, I like this weird world. Which ones are like, what? I gotta get out. I have no idea where we're gonna go with it. Honestly, we're just having fun and goofing off.
Exactly, and you're doing so much vlog stuff. You're doing all the Disneyland stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta. You're 200
I'm there
days
all the time. I'm there all
there.
the time, so it may as well, you know.
So has there been something Disney related that you've learned this year that you may not have known about the park or Disney in general before?
Yes. Okay. So there is, and you know what? I'm drawing a blank right now on what it was called. It was called the. Oh man! It was right before the monorail came to Disneyland, and Walt had a smaller train, kind of looked like the monorail, but it was on the ground. And it was called the Tomorrowland Express. I can't remember what it was, but it only went from Fantasyland to Tomorrowland and then back to Fantasyland.
Oh.
And it was a small train, but it was only there for 1 year because Walt built it. Then he went to the World's Fair, saw the monorail, said, oh my gosh, that's what I want. Went back to Disneyland, said, tear that thing up and put this thing here. And then that was the birth of the monorail. So I had no idea that it was there, but you can go on YouTube and hear the voiceovers that they would play on the train, you know, the welcome to, you're riding the Tomorrowland Expressway, blah, blah, blah. It's really cool, and that was something that, because I mean, there's really nothing that I don't know about.
That's why I'm saying, I wanted to know.
But so I mean, I was so excited, I was calling people, I was texting people, like, did you know this was here? But it was only from 1957 to 1958, and not even for the entire year. So it was only, you know, maybe 7 or 8 months that it was actually in the park.
Thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with us. We'll catch you guys next time.
Later on.